Is it working? Okay, yes, it is. I was so confused because it looked like there was no audio coming in, even though there was. Cool. I am so good at tech.
It's always the people that you wouldn't expect that that struggle. You know what I mean?
It's just that when you use technology so much, it's that then there's more. Damn, I am not good at words today. This is great. This is great for recording.
This is really good for the podcast.
Yeah, this is no. It's like when you do you ever dream that you could be anything? No, I feel like if you just use technology more and especially know how to use it more, you're way more likely to fuck up with the easy things, especially because you've already like done so much other shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like how I justify it.
Yeah. Plus, you're starstruck because you're a huge composting fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge composting fan. I'm definitely very familiar with your format and have listened to your podcast a lot. But just to say, I am not a podcast listener. I'm a podcast guest, but not a podcast listener. Just in the general sense.
So true. That's fair. do you listen to the podcasts you go on after the fact?
No, I just read the comments, and if people are nice, I assume I did well, and if people are not nice, I don't want to listen to it anyways.
Everyone say like very nasty things, but like I don't know, just make them esoteric enough of insults to where it won't like affect anyone's mental health.
Yeah, and where it won't affect like your YouTube channel's standing.
Yeah.
To be fair, you can say some wild shit in the YouTube comments. You can get away with just about anything if you want to.
I mean, if you really mess it up, I'll use it as leverage for you to go after my personal enemies. I have a list.
You have a list. You have a prepared list.
Yeah, beep these out, but like I need him. He his. But I need that motherfucker. Didn't even respond to it. But lil fucking fucker was coming at me like because I'm an anti-moralist. He's like, actually, every value judgment is moralism. Also, look at how weird they look. He put like a weird thirst trap of me in the thumbnail, and they started like trying to flirt with me in my mentions on the alt account because I blocked him. Need that guy. Need him.
I was just gonna say, of course, my authoritarian communist friend has a list of people they want dead. That's what they do best. It's bad.
True. It's true.
I'm gonna try and limit the political beef during this, but
Dude, don't worry. I already have a critique of your what was the name of the article?
Of course you have a critique.
Yeah, just in case, your article where you're like, let's do anarchism by having fun together.
I mean, that wasn't really the point. It's not. I don't think I got my point across well enough and all of it. That I will concede that.
On purpose.
Yeah, I know. But I will also concede that I did not get my point across well enough for people who simply Control F for the word soup and then tell me that that's all I'm talking about. I should have simply left that word out.
I will say I did actually. The article was all right. I agree with a lot of what you said in the article.
Yeah, no, it's just a lot of people didn't actually read it. They just saw an anarchist wrote totally. Something like, yeah, it's the usual thing, and I mean people quoted the very well written Stalin essay to me, obviously.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I get all this shit from everybody. Like,
yeah.
As a leftcom, I'm like the most oppressed minority group in the world. Essentially, no, you laugh, but it's true. Like, the anarchists call me like authoritarian, tanky Stalinist.
That is what I call you, yes.
The Stalinists when call me a Trotskyist. The Trotskyists say that I'm actually a Trotskyist, even though I'm not a fucking Trotskyist.
I mean, okay, to be fair, the Trotskyists say that about everyone. We don't need to get into trots. Like, we all know everyone hates the trots, so
yeah, Shout out their newspapers though. Avid Trotskyist
Yeah.
newspaper reader. I'm the only person. I can't. I get so
you're the
excited.
one person they make those newspapers for.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
true.
great.
It's true.
I'm gonna start sending you the Swiss one, the one the Swiss trots are writing.
But then after the international proletariat rises the fuck up, you're gonna have to pay big time reparations for your harsh and mean words.
Yeah, no, I'm currently somehow managing to have caused massive, like, weird discourse on Tumblr again about politics, because someone asked me a joking question about about leftist infighting, and I very jokingly engaged with it, and then obviously a lot of people anonymously got really mad at me in various ways. We've now arrived at a point where the most American anarchist you will ever see, it was obvious they were American because they called me a liberal instead of a social democrat. Because if they were a real leftist, they would have called me at best a social democrat. Because that's that's the real insult you give to someone you disagree with who says they have the same ideology as you.
The last real leftist was Benito Mussolini. Everyone else is a liberal.
Yeah,
okay,
and
pal?
also Benito Mussolini is a lesbian legend. Let's not forget about that.
What's up, little comers? It's Composting. Back at it again, the most lonely podcast in the whole damn world. I'm your alone and sad and afraid host, Rosa, joined today by the hacker behind the 2008 financial crisis and the person who snitched on the founder of Silk Road, Maia Arson Crimew.
Exactly, those are both things I have done. I am going to snitch on him again now that he's doing weird crypto shit. Because of course he's doing weird crypto shit. Shout out to meme coins. Why is this what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie, I have like an alt account on Twitter where I'm like giving into the Trump crypto space so I can like rug pull.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's not a joke. I am like, because no one's coming after, no one's punishing these crimes. So essentially,
no,
it's
I mean the SEC actually wrote an advisory saying that meme coins are not a security, so meme coins are legal now. You are allowed to do rug pulls as long as you call it a meme coin legally.
Yeah.
This is now the case because they realized that otherwise they would need to once again charge Trump with crimes, and we couldn't have that now, could we? But it does technically open a field for some very leftist meme coins.
Leftist in the Mussolini sense.
Yeah, exactly. Mussolini fought.
Trump is a leftist when you really think about it. When you really think about it.
Are we towing the ACP party line now?
No, I'm just 3 Irish coffees deep. It's like 4 Loco, but for the bourgeois.
Damn.
So you're a little hacker who leaked the no-fly list. What the fuck? Why'd you do that?
For the revolution, I guess, and unfortunately it didn't immediately happen after I released the no-fly list, so I'm becoming a journalist now, which is maybe the most Trotskyist aspect about me, is that even though I'm an anarchist, I also write real journalistic articles, which is very uncharacteristic, I would say.
Well, you're also a virgin.
You just made that up right now.
But that's also a very Trotskyist thing.
That would be a very that would be very Trotskyist of me, but I'm not a virgin, so I guess that's what sets me apart.
I am not a virgin. I have very much sex with many pussy. I make love to the pussy every night. I am no virgin. Anyway, how are you today, my
I'm
my
pretty
anarchistic friend?
I am pretty good. I had to wake up for a meeting, and I slept too well last night. So I overslept the first half an hour of the meeting, but thankfully it was a meeting between me and only one other person, so we just did it later. Which, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of a wonder I'm in time for this podcast, because yeah, you never know with these anarchists.
Yeah, yeah. When my former disgraced co-host who left the show under dubious circumstances was an anarchist, she would say that she would schedule things in quote unquote punk time, which just meant not having zero respect for anyone else's
Oh
time.
yeah, that's kind of real. I mean, that's sort of how I schedule in my mind. But I am actually using the calendar app again, because I realized I can't schedule like 50 events in 1 month and not write a single one of them down.
Yeah.
It only works if other people remind you, and eventually people stop reminding you of the things you're supposed to go to.
Yeah.
So I have a calendar app now. I usually don't look at it. So that's what I'm working on now, is actually checking my calendar. But we're doing this step by step. I'm getting integrated into real society.
You know, I got that Proton business suite with the Proton
Yo,
calendar app.
you know, I got that ET sync calendar with my ET synced calendar.
Phase the fuck up. Phase the fuck up for you.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, yeah, I'm good. I rewatched the movie we're gonna talk about for like the 10th time last night, so
yeah,
I'm locked in.
you're a big fan.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. What else are you a big fan of?
What am I a big
what makes
fan
you
of?
pick? Yeah.
That's always
pussy.
the pussy, obviously. The
pussy.
pussy.
Yeah,
Pussy.
that's a bro.
Yeah, we all.
Hell yeah.
What else? It's always kind of hard. I mean, like, I do love my work, but that sounds like such a stupid thing to say
Dude, I fucking hate my work. I fucking hate my fans. They're all suckers who I charge money on Patreon to make dog shit for. I didn't even put out an episode early this week. It's gonna be like 5 days late, cause fuck them. I fucking hate the fans.
Hell
fuck
yeah.
the fans.
No, I mean, what I do in my day is mostly just posting. Yeah, that's like the end of the list. I do like movies.
User?
I am basically a professional Twitter, Blue Sky, and Tumblr user. I cross-post most of my shit to 3 sites, and I don't know why I'm doing this to myself.
I've gotten every single Blue Sky user to admit this. Can we admit that Blue Sky is like dog shit?
It depends. You are not gonna get me to fully admit this. You're not gonna get me to fully admit this, because I have been on Blue Sky since that very early era where it was just trans people posting tits and a few cis men being very confused by that. Where it was still fun.
It was transvestite pussy.
And I have just I have an okay circle on there, but I don't know. I think what's missing is the sauce, and by the sauce I mean the harassment. I think there's not enough harassment on Blue Sky. We need to bring bullying back. I just generally, like, I don't think the harassment and the dog shit on Twitter is good. I just think it wouldn't be fun to spend all day on Twitter if it was just fine. And the problem with Blue Sky isn't that it's bad, it's more so that it's too good.
I would actually agree, because I tried using Blue Sky on 2 separate occasions. And the second time, I tried to do a QRT dunk on somebody, and they just removed themselves from the QRT.
Yeah, and it's like that's fair.
Loser, and then they said, we don't do that here. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll
I mean, my retort to that is just always, okay, I've been here for longer than you. I know I do that here. I'm gonna do whatever I want here. But the thing is also, like, the thing Blue Sky is really useful for me as like a journalist is like networking, because all the journalists are there. It's really great for networking. It's basically like if you could say gay slurs on LinkedIn. That's sort of what Blue Sky is right now.
Yeah, that's the other reason.
Which makes LinkedIn sound better than it is, but you get what I mean.
that's the other reason I kind of don't like it, because I open up the app. It's like I try and get my depressing shit out of the way early. I'll read AP News, read my Substacks, read Al Jazeera, and then listen to Democracy Now's daily broadcast thing. So I want that to be it. I want to be like done with my news outside of like YouTube videos after that. So it is depressing to open up Blue Sky. It's literally just all of the journalists. Sorry, right?
Yeah, like it's useful to have all of the journalists there if you're also a journalist and you want to hang out with the journalists. But yeah, it is like the reason the journalists are there is because like link deboosting on Twitter has genuinely gotten so bad that even though I have a technically still bigger audience on Twitter than I do on Blue Sky by a magnitude, I get so many more like clicks on my articles from Blue Sky than I do from Twitter. People actually retweet shit on Blue Sky. It's very good for my work, but I kind of feel bad if all I do on there is post my articles and nothing else. So I do cross post some of my shit posts. Sometimes also just to test the waters of whether the vibe has arrived yet. And that's it's just funny. People get mad at me in very different ways on every social media website I use. Like people get mad at me differently on Tumblr than they do on Twitter and then they do on Blue Sky, and I think it can be entertaining. Like if one of them gets a bit too much with the harassment, I just move on to another. It's like, I don't need you right now. I'm basically poly with my social media sites, with my audiences.
You have a harem.
I have a harem of audiences.
That's true. So you want to talk about 1995's Hackers?
Yes, I want to talk about the greatest movie ever made, the greatest film ever made that is very underappreciated and is becoming cool and hip again because I keep talking about it on every podcast.
I wouldn't say it's underappreciated. I'd say it's reached cult classic status.
It has reached cult classic status, but I think it was underappreciated and hated at the time. I think that's interesting, especially by hackers. But it has since... I think one of the most interesting things that I want to get out of the way before we even really talk about the movie is that this movie that hackers at the time hated for being inaccurate has since shaped hacking culture so much that it wouldn't be the same without this movie.
Yeah. I will say the hacking put on display is inaccurate and meant to be comedic and over the top. It's a very funny film.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think the most 90s film anyone has ever made.
Yes, I was gonna make that point. I will say, like, it does pay a lot. The set design I thought was great in it, and the
exactly.
The costume design, I thought they paid a lot of attention to 90s New York City streetwear and the streetwear culture of that time period.
Yes.
Which is very cool, because like you see like Supreme stickers on shit.
Yeah,
this movie came out in 95. That was like a local shop within New York City. A lot of what they're wearing it's up there. Obviously, La Haine is a very different movie, but it similarly pays a lot of attention and tries to represent the streetwear of each city within that time period in a very interesting way. Obviously, Hackers is more over the top, but you can tell that there is an appreciation for fashion that I also appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think what really makes this movie is that its story is kind of dog shit, but everything like it is just perfectly put on screen, and so in my opinion. And I think part of it is like the set design and stuff. I love the little details in the background where they have different posters for Siberia, like the in-story hangout place. There's multiple different versions of the posters that hang in like the kids' rooms. And like I mean, there's the original German Metropolis poster above Kate Libby's bed, like very massive. It's like they really care, and I think it's funny that due to them actually going so hard on the streetwear. It is what kind of in part I think makes this movie so iconic now is that everyone looks fucking gay. They all look trans. They're all trans in some way.
I mean,
especially
the one with the braids.
Especially the Matthew Lillard character, but when is he ever not accidentally trans on screen? I mean,
It's
like
true.
just look at Scooby Doo.
Yeah. The dialogue in this movie is very tongue in cheek, in a way that I constantly appreciated. Especially the character Plague, played by
The Plague, yeah.
the Plague, played by Fisher Stevens, who has made smaller roles in Wes Anderson's films. Specifically Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch, so on, so on.
I think he's also in Asteroid City, even the
Asteroid
latest one.
City,
I'm pretty sure.
Very funny guy, very talented guy, and his line reads are fucking incredible.
It's insane. Yeah.
You can tell, like, the scout from TF2, I'm convinced, was at least in part inspired by this character, because he has a line read in this movie where he says, basically, yeah, which it's giving Scout TF2.
Yeah, I think the thing I love about that character, and the thing that I also want to comment on again with like hacker culture now and that movie, is that the thing that always baffles me about this movie is that it ever got made, that it ever got money to be made, because it's so clearly an like anti-establishment movie in a way that nowadays I don't think you get the funding for it, at least not from big distributors. But the thing that's funny about this is the Plague very, very clearly represents corporate cybersecurity, right? Now, imagine someone working in corporate cybersecurity nowadays. They watch this movie. Who do you think they identify with personally?
The elite squad.
Exactly. They all think they're dead and they're doing righteous hacks. This is this whole funny thing where around 2020 there was this group of like cybersecurity people who founded this group called Hacking is Not a Crime, which on a top level service sounds good. They are against the current CFAA and want to improve things. But the main thing they then focused on is constantly getting mad at news outlets for calling the bad hackers hackers when the real hackers are the people who write reports all day and work at corporations. And they loved quoting this movie and using clips from it. And I don't know, man, you are the Plague. That's literally you. He literally represents you. His entire thing is about how he can be bought and how he is willing to work for the state and for the money, because and I think that is very funny to me, as the classic thing where obviously every movie always gets misunderstood by the people it's making fun of. But I think it's very blatant in this case, because the Plague is so blatantly a representation of a corporate cybersecurity guy who wants to be cool. And
it's insane that anyone this movie's making fun of doesn't see it, because it's very nail on the head. It's not subtle. It's so obviously making fun of that, to the point that I legitimately think that you would have to be stupid not getting the heavy-handed message of this movie. But the more I do the show, the more I realize how
people don't get
moronic the average film watcher is, and how unwilling they are to engage with any not even subtext, just text.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, it's just text. He, like, straight out says it. Like, we as hackers, if you want to be something good, you are on your own, but also you can work with me, and you can make money, and you can be cool like me. And I think one funny thing as well is, I don't know how much you looked into the background of this movie. The reason they're all on roller skates is because their hacking consultants lied to them about hacking culture on purpose, because they thought it would be funny. They just told the filmmaker, they have 2 consultants on the topic of hacking, and they just lied to them about most aspects of hacking. That's why this film is so inaccurate in terms of that. They just told them hackers go everywhere on roller skates, and somehow Iain Softley did not question this whatsoever. But the funny thing is, they make this very funny thing where all the cool hackers, they're on roller skates, but the Plague, he has a skateboard. They actually set him apart, and I think that's very cool, because it's such a subtle little detail, and the context to that detail even existing is really funny to me.
I love everything about the Plague. He's my favorite part of this movie by far. Just another line read of him. We are the keyboard cowboys. The others, who don't know what we are the cattle. Moo.
The delivery of moo there is so great. There's so many great lines. I just always find it very funny when he's interacting with Margot, who's Lorraine Bracco, because she's somehow really bad in this movie. In half the scenes, she's getting her lines wrong, and they're clearly ADR'd. And I'm just so confused at why she's so bad, but then I also remember again that they just made her entire character be stupid woman who does not understand computer, and that's the only reason she's even in this movie at all. She's only in this movie to be for the cast to be sexist about her, which I think is interesting, but type cookie, you idiot, is also another very great line.
Yeah. They have how the fuck am I forgetting? Is it Angelina Jolie? Am I forgetting?
Angelina Jolie, yes.
Yeah, Angela. Okay, I wasn't sure.
This is like shortly before she became proper famous.
Her character in this movie, like, look, I'm not one of those fucking leftists that is always like complaining about unnecessary sex scenes in movies. However, I feel like this movie can't go more than 5 minutes without showing her topless in a way that I find.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting how they found a body double for Jonny Lee Miller to wear a tight leather suit though. I do like how we also have him in that. The thing that always annoys me about this movie is that they're not both wearing a dress at the end, because that would have been the ultimate payoff. Is them being like, "Oh, our beef is settled. We're both wearing a dress to the."
Yeah.
And I'm 100% sure this is just because Jonny Lee Miller didn't want to wear a dress. I'm like. This is my crackpot theory here is they would have wanted to have him wear a dress in that scene as well, but he said no because he's a coward. Because it's clearly not him in that skin tight leather suit either, except for the face. But
yeah,
I don't know.
A couple of other brief critiques. During the end hacking scene, they keep playing the same CGI scene over and over and over and over.
They do love that scene a lot.
15 full minutes of this movie are just the same CGI scene, copy and pasted, except they at one point they just like color shift it. It's like it's not a different scene.
I do think they ran out of budget at some points in this movie, but
the green screen during the gaming scene?
Yes, I always want to point this out. It's so funny. There's so much green casting on his face. I don't know why he's suddenly in the game and it's like a 2-second shot. They could have just left that out.
It looks like Tim and Eric type shit.
Yeah. Also, my food is about to arrive, so this is a good moment to take a very quick break. And I will be eating ribs while we keep talking. So I don't want them to get called. This food was supposed to arrive like way before we called, but it somehow didn't, so...
It's okay.
Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I return.
Hello.
With another tech mishap on the way from the tech girl. I somehow broke my intercom, like at the door.
How?
I don't know. It's just the cover fell off.
You were so hungry for your ribs.
I was so hungry. I was like, I started eating the wall and everything, just out of frame.
Wow, you're more American culturally than I am.
Damn.
I'm hankering for my ribs. Let me eat them. How are the ribs?
I'm gonna eat them after. I'm gonna eat some fries now, though.
Okay, how are the fries?
They're okay. They always make kind of soggy fries at the American restaurant I ordered from. You're gonna have to bleep out the name of this, but it's fucking called... It's the most American place to exist outside of America, possibly.
Fuck you, that restaurant. I hope you go bankrupt. Is it a small business? It's always a small business.
No, they're a bit of a chain. They're like a small chain.
Never mind. Solidarity to the comrades. Fuck small businesses. Can I guess fuck small businesses?
Fuck small businesses, for real.
True! except for mine.
Yeah, my small business is okay though. That's just like what I told you yesterday. It's on Twitter. It's okay for me to be a moralist because my morals are correct.
Yeah, it's very true.
I'm the one moralist who is allowed to be moralist.
It's true.
Anyways, where were we?
Yeah, where were we? We were talking a little bit of shit on the movie.
Yes. I think that the thing I wanted to add to your thing about the like weird sex scenes is that this is one of those peak like 90s and 2000s movies that just has a romance plot that isn't needed. I don't think the romance plot was really like necessary for this movie to work. I mean, they clearly wrote it around the romance plot, but I don't think like I don't know.
Yeah. There's also random transphobia, which was
yeah.
Very funny. I will say I did think it was very funny just because of how out of pocket it was.
Yeah, it just randomly came in there, especially considering how like clearly like trans inspired the Matthew Lillard character like has to be. There's no way he actually, or at least gay inspired. I don't know. He's clearly meant to.
As Asian boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was very funny, especially because they just like go off with like 60 slurs a second, which
yeah, it's just
admirable.
all of a sudden there's just like, but like it's somehow it's like there's other movies where it would like somewhat ruin the movie for me, but in this one it sort of makes sense plot wise that there's some transphobia. Like culturally at this time it's like this is surprisingly progressive for the time, the use of transphobia, which is not to say to excuse it.
Well, I do think that there is such a thing as revolutionary transphobia, even. Because let's be real, some of these deserve it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of these annoying motherfuckers in my mentions deserve it.
Yeah.
Why did you
some of these annoying
People's Joker a 6 out of 10? Fuck you. No, wait, we gave out 4 out of 10. My bad.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm evil. Very high 4. But other than that, I thought this movie was very charming.
It's like a movie you expect to be really shit, and then it's kind of shit, but also really fun. Like
yeah, and like the dialogue, even
and to me it's just sorry.
I'm so sorry.
But to me it's just such a movie that I don't think we have the technology to make something like this anymore. This can only specifically come from 1995. Any earlier it wouldn't have worked. Any later it wouldn't have worked. It's like this only works because it came out in the mid-90s.
Yeah, a lot of it reminded me a lot of the Nickelodeon shows I grew up on. Like the live action Nick shows. But yeah, I thought it was thoroughly charming. Even a lot of the lines that people would traditionally call bad, I think it's so funny to say about a laptop. Damn, that's got a PCI bus in it.
I think what really works for this movie is that they knew they were making a cheesy movie and they were just like, we don't give a shit, we're gonna do it anyways. And I think it's this, and it's like very clear almost every actor except like Margot or whatever the actress's name is again, was like having so much fun on set very clearly. I don't know. I mean, Jonny Lee Miller and then Angelina Jolie briefly dated immediately after this movie, so the on-set vibes clearly had to have been pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. I just find it fascinating that there's like no other movie like this. I can't think of a single other movie that's like this.
Yeah. Me neither. I guess the closest thing to it is the Eric Andre skits where he's dressed up as Google.
That makes sense, but like I don't know.
I just don't think that you're smart enough to understand that comparison because I'm working at a high intellectual level. Not everyone gets me because of that. It's quite unapproachable. That's why my show's so unsuccessful. I'm just too smart.
You're just too smart. Yeah. And also everyone hates you because you're a leftcom. We've already established this.
Well, yeah,
Your show is actually your show is unsuccessful because you're a leftcom. That's the real
dude,
problem.
don't worry. This isn't even my politics podcast. That comes out next month.
Oh damn.
Listen to WTF Now, available wherever you get your podcasts and on the Dead Domain YouTube channel. Also, listen to Library of Communist Left, my audiobooks project, available at where the Library of the Communist Left and wherever you get your podcasts. That's not just me. That's you want to score?
Yeah, I mean, you know my score for this movie, which is a very this gets all my score. It's just because of what it means to me as a person.
Yeah.
I think if I were to score it on like its filmmaking thing, it would be way lower. But I think the fact that it like changed me as a person, it stays with me as a person. I think also the fact that it's still good after 10 rewatches, I think that I really add something to it.
Yeah, there are movies like that are just like, even if they're not high cinema, like, they're just fucking good movies.
I think a lot of high cinema is really hard. Yeah, I think a lot of high cinema is really hard to rewatch. Like, a lot of that is like really built on that impact it has on the first watch.
Yeah.
And I think this is just the perfect movie to watch over and over again because it's and like like last night's watch, I was mostly just looking at the set design. Like, holy shit, it's so good. I wanna go to that fucking bar. I wanna go hang out there.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of other 90s comedies that we watched, like Bulworth, and I like it. I like this movie. I am feeling a solid 21 out of 30.
Yeah.
Putting it right between Chicken Run and It's What's Inside.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, everyone has those movies where it's like,
yeah, exactly. Like I get most friends I show this to, and they rate it like 3 stars or whatever in Letterboxd, and I'm not a hurt because I know it's a very flawed movie, and it's but it's like comfort food, you know?
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like everyone should go watch this movie. Watch it with a friend.
It's a great watch. It's especially a great watch with some friends. Yeah, it's like if you want a movie to just like get some of your friends together, watch it with like a projector, and then just drink some beers afterwards. This is like that movie to do that with.
I mean, like, I get that like a lot of the movies I like that I really fuck with, a lot of people don't like because they're not like easy watches with a buddy.
Yeah.
Like Come and See isn't a fun watch. As funny as it is to say about my favorite movie, it's hard to get through, which is why I'm not like watching it every month.
Yeah, no, like I also do like a lot of more like high cinema in quotes. I think it's always stupid to like classify cinema like that.
I say that tongue in cheek, but
you like you get what I mean. But like I also like a lot of that stuff as well. But I still don't think anything like for me. This is like the perfect movie because it strikes this balance really well between so many different things, and it's just so funny how this is like I don't think Iain Softley made any other good movies. Like I can't think of any. Maybe I should watch his other movies sometime, but like this is by far his most popular movie. It's very funny. They know it has a cult following. I almost spent like $200 on a like anniversary edition vinyl of the soundtrack last year. That has extra songs on it. The soundtrack.
By the way, the soundtrack. Okay, going back, soundtrack. What the fuck? They have like jungle remixes of like Muslim chants. What the fuck is going on?
It's insane. I like it. Also, the important thing about the opening is the opening scene, then the title drop, and then the first few scenes after. That's one song. That's Halcyon On and On by Orbital. That's a single song that just has this drop in the middle where the vibe changes, and that's where the title drop happens. This is insane. They very clearly shot the start of this the beginning of this movie around this specific song, and that's so crazy to me because that's like. I don't know, and then for some reason there's just voodoo people in this movie by the Prodigy, and it goes really hard. And
it's fucking awesome. It reminds me a lot of the North American Gran Turismo 1 and 2 soundtracks. I use a lot of Gran Turismo music in
Yeah.
the background of the show. More of the Japanese soundtrack because I'm a jazz head, but North American soundtrack does have a special place in my heart because it's why I grew up playing. And man, it's a fucking good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cheesy,
No.
but good. Which
Yeah,
I guess
and
is
one
just a
and
good
yeah,
synopsis
and
of the
and
show.
one day I will spend the like $300 on the secondhand market to buy one of those anniversary LPs because they have like bonus songs that were supposed to be in a movie but never released anywhere from the guy who made the soundtrack, and I'm like, I need to listen to those for some reason. I am willing.
Just set up one of those things where fans of your shit can buy you shit. Just make suckers.
The problem with that is that I'm in Switzerland and none of those technically directly support Swiss like sellers and things, so it's annoying and stupid. But you can give me money on Ko-fi and I will buy this now.
Switzerland should just be part of Germany, I think.
That is wrong. You need to look at Gaddafi's proposal if you want the real proposal for splitting Switzerland down. Gaddafi had a really important proposal in 2009. Wait, are you aware of the Libyan Switzerland crisis? It is a very important moment.
You're not a Hitler type anti-Semite. You're a Gaddafi type anti-Semite. I mean, we both believe in the ZOG, but you know how it is.
No, like you know how are you not aware of this time where like for the longest time Switzerland was like Libya's closest ally as the neutral country, right? And they were doing all their banking via Switzerland. And eventually Switzerland caved to like US pressure and froze Gaddafi's bank accounts. And he got so pissed that at the G7 summit, he suggested splitting Switzerland up between all the neighbor countries. Which is like the maybe most Gaddafi thing ever. But you got...
Gaddafi is...
The Wikipedia article on Switzerland-Libya relations is very great. It's
Gaddafi
fantastic
is African Mussolini. And I want to say I misspoke. Gaddafi was the last true leftist.
But yeah, I don't know. This is very funny to me. Like growing up in Switzerland, you grow up always generally feeling safe. I grew up pretty middle class, so you don't really like have many.
Typical anarchist. I'm sorry.
I am anything but middle class now. But yeah. I'm rich actually.
Fucking balling. Yeah.
I'm balling over here, barely affording rent and food. But no, but it was kind of weird growing up, like with basically no like real bigger like worldly fears. I have many fears. I'm an anxious person. It always have been. But suddenly you like I was like at the age where I was starting to understand what the people in the news were talking about. I was like 9-10 years old, and they're talking about like Gaddafi and how he now has a problem with Switzerland, and I like knew Gaddafi is like a bad guy, and I genuinely got scared of like an invasion war in Switzerland. And that is in retrospect so funny to me because that would never happen. They would not have.
I remember I was pissed when I was a little kid and Obama cooed Libya because they changed the flag. I really like that they had the plain green flag.
No, that's same. I was so annoyed that they changed the flag.
It was my non-autistic, I'm not autistic by the way, special interest, Libya's flag. I got really upset.
I got that
on the news. I was like, they're not gonna change the flag, are they? And then I saw the new flag go up. I was like, fuck my chud life, dude. And that's when
this is why we need Trump to coup Libya again, just to bring back the good flag, make Libya the 52nd state.
Hillary Clinton was afraid of a United African Republic because it was a threat to the cracker race and American hegemony. JD Pandan will be putting real Mussolini patriots in control. Death to America, KKA. Death to the Jews. Long live Libya. Donnie over and out.
There is like a real not too far away from here alternative reality of where Trump is a Maoist. I think we like very closely slip by that, and it's all Roy Cohn's fault that he isn't a Maoist. That is my opinion.
Thanks, Roy Cohn.
Let's.
Roy Cohn, you bald, AIDS having.
I was about to call him a.
Well, I mean, if the shoe fits, and the shoe does fit because he's due to his AIDS.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a little game here. It's called Explain That Tweet.
Oh no!
Three tweets.
Oh no! This is not gonna go well.
And your job is to tell me which one of these is the real tweet.
Are they tweets from me or are they
Yes.
tweets and shit? Oh god.
No, from you. I've got
From
two
me,
fake
yeah.
tweets and a real tweet.
Oh
And you're gonna
god.
tell me which one is real and explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Here are your tweets. I am the Grover Fur of crypto scams. At Badlands Chugs, I need you. Fuck Brat Summer. I want to get down with Scat Summer.
So the last one definitely isn't real. I didn't say that. That's a banger tweet though. The writing that down.
So we're in between the Grover Fur of crypto scans and tweeting at Badlands Chugs. At Badlands Chugs, I need you.
I feel like that first one is some shit I would say. Is the first one the real one?
They're all real.
They're all real? Are these all things I've said?
These are all real tweets.
What's wrong with me?
No need to check. These are all real tweets.
I am gonna check
How the
now.
fuck
I don't
do you
believe
even know
you.
who Grover Fur is?
I don't even remember who that is.
He's some fucking crackpot historian.
I don't remember the context to any of these. Are these really real? I can't find them. You're lying to
all
me.
Three of them are real tweets.
You're lying to me.
No,
I'm
they're
being
all
lied
real.
to.
They're all real tweets. Put them up on screen.
Damn. Well, I can't. I don't think I can really explain any of these.
Anyway, what's the deal with monkey movies? What's going
What
on?
is the deal with monkey movies?
There's a lot of monkeys.
We were gonna talk about a monkey movie, and then I forgot to watch the monkey movie, and also I could have only watched the German dub, and I'm not gonna watch the German dub of The Monkey 2025. I am so sorry. I'm like so sorry. I already hate German dubs enough, but German dubs of like kinda bad movies, I ain't doing all that. I almost decided to download a virus from the Pirate Bay to make this episode happen, but I probably still wouldn't have seen the movie.
By the way, off the record, do you know how I can get into one of those private torrent services for
I don't
movies?
really use private trackers myself, so
Fuck.
I can't get you into any, unfortunately.
Fuck my chud life, dude.
You generally need friends who are in one, and then they invite you, and then you get interviewed, and it's a whole thing. It's
Dude,
like
I
applying for a job, but
I know.
more illegal.
I just need to make more film reviewer buddies, I guess.
I almost yesterday I almost did download a Russian telesync of the monkey just because I thought it would be funny to watch the movie telesync in a language I don't even understand. It would have been an awesome experience, I assume.
Yeah. That's how I watched the last Avengers movie. What was it like? The
I
one
don't
with the
fucking
time
know.
travel.
Didn't they just do a new one? I don't keep up with the MCU. Sometimes I
Oh, no,
feel like I should keep with the MCU just to
it's
tweet
bullshit.
better. I think it would let me make better tweets.
I don't know. The MCU is a lot like supply side economics. I'm not gonna elaborate.
I mean, no, okay. The MCU is actually a real American communism because they have a 5-year plan.
It's true. It's true. It's true. That's why Japan and South Korea were real communist countries in the 90s. Not a lot of people know that, but they had economic plans.
Yeah.
Checkmate Stalinists.
Yep. I think the great thing about Marvel publicly releasing their future release plan, which is stupid, is that you get tweets from people being like, "Whoa, this is such a generational run of movies about movies that aren't even out yet," and I just think that's very great, and we should normalize this.
Yeah,
We should...
I'm just gonna start doing tweets like that whenever A24 announces a new movie.
Mhm.
But it's gonna be some abysmal dog shit, like the the Afghanistan movie from the Civil War guy.
Ah, the Civil. I still
Oh,
want to actually
fucking
hate
hell.
watch Civil War.
Dude.
One day I will hate watch Civil War on ketamine.
Dude, I don't know
I
why.
feel like I need to watch this movie on ketamine. It would probably make it better.
So you think that you're there?
I will either think I am there or I will watch this movie and not really consume it, but think about how much I love my friends. I did this last night. I watched Her on ketamine, and it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it, but also the entire time I was just thinking about how much I love my friends, which has nothing to do with that movie at all, but...
Yeah. I like watching Civil War on cocaine. I'm like, yes, yes, yes!
Yes! Shoot
yeah,
these
kill
bastards!
Kill him! Go! War! Man. So, yeah, a lot of monkey movies coming out.
Yeah, there's... Wait, I made a letterbox list.
You did
just
make
so
a
I can
letterbox
keep track of it. Just so I can... Because I was wondering. It's just... I made this list just for today, but I already tweeted it out because I'm greedy. People
I fucking hate you.
people
You ruined everything. God.
People got mad at me on one social media platform because half of these movies are actually about apes and not monkeys, and it's to some people this difference is very important. But I will always keep calling apes monkeys.
Reopen the camps. I'm sorry. Whatever. Fuck you. Break rocks.
But yeah, there's 2024 and 2025. We got Monkey Man, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. They're really running out of titles for this one. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They're also running out of title ideas for those. And Better Man and the Monkey. I have seen 2 of these movies. You can now guess which.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Better Man.
No, I have seen Monkey Man and Better Man. I actually love Better Man. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good movie. They made music biopics good. They made me make me cry at a movie about Robbie Williams, and I think that technically makes it a half-star movie.
They didn't make you cry a movie about Robbie Williams. They made you cry a movie about CGI monkey.
Yeah, but it's
so much worse.
It's so much worse, but I think it speaks to the fact that just getting a little creative with it makes biopics so much better, and I think that's the cool thing about it. I don't think it needed to be the monkey thing, but I think the fact that they were like, we're gonna do the monkey thing, made them also make a better movie in other ways, because they were actually like, okay, we're already doing weird gimmicky shit. Why not shoot it like we're insane and I'll use all of Sina Weibo's money, because for some reason Weibo funded this movie, I think. I think Sina Studios funded this to something. Dude, it's one of those movies where you randomly see a production company drop and it's China and it's like, okay, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, Sina Studios has given money to this. This has been funded by Chinese government. The Chinese government is funding real cinema.
Man. Dude, I feel like it's one of those movies that shouldn't have come out. That's some shit that gets announced but doesn't come out. You know what I mean?
I just think it's funny. It's one of those movies everyone was like, ooh, this is gonna be so trash, and then it comes out and everyone's like, wait, hold on. But speaking of the Chinese like production budgets, I think it's very funny that half of the Mission Impossible movies that are like just very clearly American propaganda were just funded by like Tencent and stuff.
Oh, speak of China, that brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Temu. Hey you, do you want to shop like a billionaire on the budget of a Chinese rice farmer? Have I got news for you? Have I got news for you? I wish I got a Temu sponsorship, because people...
It would be really funny.
I can't, I should. Dude, I would honestly... Well, okay, any brand that's sponsoring fucking YouTubers or podcasters is probably high quality. And if you're intelligent enough to buy products from one of them, that is a great decision I recommend, especially if it's a product or service I promote. I will die by that sentiment.
Yeah, influencer sponsorships
are always
okay, but usually that's banks, and they're not okay. Banks are not okay. Why are
Honey's a
YouTubers
scam?
advertising loans anyways?
Dude,
Why
fuck,
is this a
you
thing now?
asked, it's so excited just at the mention of that. Yes! Yes! High interest loans!
Oh.
Dude, JP Morgan and Chase fucking sponsor me. Hit my line, you know where to find me. I'm at the meetings every week. You know me, okay?
I mean, we are at the peak point where we should start advertising on YouTube with like really bad I mean, we're basically back to 08 again, so we might as well just do 08 but like 2020 style, you know?
Yeah.
And go full in.
Yeah, like, I don't know, the whole did you say a honey controversy, that the app that gives you free money is like a
the app that gives you free money and is owned by Peter Thiel? Yeah.
Wow, it's an attribution link scam. No shit, how the fuck do you think it was making money?
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Anyways, the monkey movies. Why are there so many monkeys in movies?
I don't know. Chinese government propaganda.
It's the Chinese government and Veda FX. I think it's in
Chinese.
I mean, at least 2 of these monkey movies had their monkey stuff done by Veda FX, like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Better Man. Both had their monkey CG done by Veda FX. I mean, who else are you gonna go to for monkey FX?
The sneaky Chinese want us to believe that human comes from monkey when actually human comes from Allah.
That's true. Also, I love how you didn't even bat an eye at me putting Monkey Man on the list of monkey movies, because it's just in the title and otherwise it has nothing to do with
I thought it'd be funnier to let the rage bait simmer for YouTube.
Oh, yeah, we can one second, we can just the version of Monkey Man I watched, he was like a CG monkey the entire time.
Yeah, it's true.
And also it was less transphobic, the version I watched.
Grr. Fuck. Grr. Stop being mean. That's why. Stop being mean to me specifically. I can make jokes about the sneaky Chinese, but if you do jokes about trans people, fuck you, pal.
Yeah, I don't have the pass yet. I have been trans for years, but they still didn't give me the Tease Alert pass.
It's true.
Where do I go to collect that?
They gave you the N-word pass instead, which is why you're constantly tweeting out the N-word.
Yeah, I'm tweeting way too much.
You're so fucking racist. Can we talk about it?
Am I?
You put out like you put out a tweet yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was 2.208 Jews per minute.
That is not. I did not.
2.208 Jews per minute. Yeah, right. And also, the sky is brown.
I did not say that yesterday. Yesterday, I was busy finding the chats on Twitter because they were mad at me because I said white women love dating conservative men, and that made the conservative men really mad at me. They all called me a repressed lesbian, which is really funny because, like, do I have something to tell you?
You also tweeted out, I quote, "If you don't use someone's neopronouns, you are as bad as the Mexicans stealing our jobs." What did you mean by that?
And that's true. I did say that. That one is real. Yeah. Like me as a Swiss person, like there's so many Mexicans here, and they're stealing my job as an unemployed anarchist who pretends to be a journalist on the internet.
Yeah. And like, it's not a problem in the U.S. In Switzerland, it's actually
in Switzerland. It's like a real problem. Like they just come and they take your employment contract out of your hand and sign it themselves. They do a great job.
It's not like they're doing a bad job. They're doing great.
However, it's
upsetting.
It's upsetting. Like, it's just, I want to do that job. I really want to work in the dick sucking factory. Like
that work would have set me free, but you stole it from me. So you like attacked me in my Discord DMs unprompted yesterday.
Did I?
Yeah, you said that you disagreed with some of our takes. What the hell?
I don't actually. I see. The thing is, I said that, and then I was like, wait, let me look through the letterbox, and there's like one review I disagree with, and I forgot which one it is. So
Okay, just look at our ranking. Look at our movies ranking again. Find one you disagree with. And
1 second. Where? Okay, letterboxd, please.
watch it be
Okay.
like People's Joker or some shit.
I haven't even watched People's Joker yet, but I can't be mean about it. I'm mutuals with Vera Drew on Twitter. I mean, I just like The Complete Unknown more, but I'm not gonna question your opinion on that because it's like it's a complete unknown. I'm not gonna go bad for this movie. I just thought it was a fun watch. The one thing I was gonna say is right. The one thing I disagree with here really is the Conclave review. But I don't know what your actual opinion is because I don't listen to your podcast. So
what do you say?
It's 15 out of 30, which is not actually that bad. And you called it woke nonsense in the review.
It is.
It is. It is very woke. I am hoping the next conclave will be this woke.
Dude, okay. If you look up Goyslop on Google Images, it's just conclave. It's like all costume design. Like it's.
I just think the
Goyslop.
problem with conclave is that it hits very differently when you have Catholic,
that's
Catholic
why we
religious
Jesus.
drama.
It's like you fucking people are so fucking annoying, dude. Like shut up.
Hey, I don't pay church tax for nothing, okay? I get to watch some Catholic slop every now and then for being too lazy to leave the church. I'm not even actually.
I like how you're like all like, oh, stop doing the loans, stop doing the loans. You start throwing around money in the fucking house of Yahweh, and then you have the gall to turn around and be like, can you pay our little church tax to the Catholic Church? We're just little guys.
It's so crazy.
The only real Jesus is Turkish Orthodox Jesus.
Damn.
Who is a Palestinian.
That's true, yeah.
It's true.
It would be funny to disagree with your Emilia Perez review, but I mean, it wouldn't be coming from my heart, so. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really disagree with.
Would you say I've never been wrong?
I wouldn't say that. No, I've seen you be wrong on Twitter a lot, but it's mostly because we have very different politics.
No, okay, name one time I was wrong on Twitter, even once.
I don't know. I don't remember all your tweets. I don't.
People always say this to me. They say, "Rosa, you've had bad takes before." I say, "Name one bad take." They're like, "I can't name one because they don't exist. They're figments of your imagination put in there by big fluoride. Try to keep the white woman down."
We don't have our water here is not fluoridated, so I don't know what's making me. We get real natural raw water. I got
Alex Jones HEPA filter on my.
Our water already comes pre-RFK'd. Like, you don't even gotta RFK that shit anymore.
Okay, can we talk about? No, we can't. Actually, no, I shouldn't talk about that. I was gonna talk about Pizza because I thought it would be funny, except YouTube just banned it.
I don't think that's. Yeah.
that one's not good.
I'm only finding things where it would be funny for me to disagree, but I don't really disagree with them. And then there's movies I haven't seen, so I just think it would be really funny to debate you on your Deadpool reviews. But really, the real solution is that we need to kill Ryan Reynolds. But
okay, I'm actually a big proponent of kill Jim Carrey. Can we talk about that?
I don't really think about Jim Carrey ever, so I don't think I would miss him. So
I think the same thing should happen to Jim Carrey and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, the thing with Ryan Reynolds is just that he forgot that he's an actor, and now he's always playing himself, and he is unfortunately not funny. They should teach him to act again. I say again as if he's ever. I was about to. I don't know. The first Deadpool was kind of funny because it actually made fun of the genre. No, at the time, it is not funny now because it is now played out, and every single one of these movies does this. But
dude, you're like a racist defending minstrel shows. You're like, the minstrel show was really funny and subversive. It had so much to say about the absurdity of a guy putting shoe polish all over his face. But now, that's not okay. It was from a different time. It was funny then.
That
now
is
it's
not
bad.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is exactly what you're saying. It's why I'm hearing. It's why I'm hearing in my heart, in my soul.
Damn, you're just a hater of me. You just think I am the same as Ryan. I'm the same to you as Ryan Reynolds.
No, because Ryan Reynolds is
What do you think?
he's probably Jewish because he's like a Hollywood guy. I don't know. So
What do you
that's like a
think differently about him if he were? Okay, I can't think of a good joke here.
See, can you admit that my job's hard? That I have it rough?
Oh, you do have it rough. Yeah, I'm
it's a
glad
hard
that I'm
job.
only ever a guest on podcasts. But you also have to admit that my job of saying I'm a journalist and barely ever managing to write anything but tweeting all day on Twitter is also really hard.
That's true.
Sometimes people are mean to me. That's what our jobs have in common, you know.
Yeah. Would you refer to yourself as like one of the most oppressed people in the world?
I am definitely one of the most oppressed people in the world.
Can we get a ranking of like all of the different minorities and you?
Oh
like,
God! On the oppression list?
Okay, let's say like a midget in a wheelchair. More or less.
I am not playing this game with you.
You're not playing that game? Nobody wants to play this game for me. I thought it was like $1 billion game show idea.
It would be, yeah, but would need to, but in the sense that the people who participate in it need to get $1 billion. Like otherwise,
I call it Oppression Thermometer. It's hosted by Steve Harvey.
No. Okay, now you're getting me warmed up to the concept. If Steve Harvey asked me this question, I would have had an answer immediately.
Show me a midget in the wheelchair.
Naked grandma. where does naked grandma land on the?
Show me naked grandma. Now, when I was a kid, midgets would just walk around places. Would you consider yourself a modern day Bukharan?
Who's that again? I think I just misunderstood you. Like
the Bukharan, the anarchist?
Oh, I misheard you completely.
Oh,
I don't think I would consider myself a modern day anything of the old years.
Like, I thought you were just a god of improv comedy.
I mean, it was a funny bit, but no, I did mishear you, so I was like very confused.
Asking anarchist, would you consider yourself a modern day Bukharan? They're like, who? It's very funny.
I don't think so. I don't think I consider myself a modern day like any of those old guys. Especially given most of the theorists of the olden days had something wrong with them. Which is not to say that they don't have anything wrong with me, but
they're
like
fat and Jewish is the big issue.
Sure, I can't say that. You're the only one here who can say that.
It's true.
I can't call them fat, but like.
That's fair. You
yeah, but
that wasn't my place. That wasn't my criticism to make. I'm gonna sit my small ass down and listen.
Look, we can split this up. You can call them Jewish, and I can call them fat, and then
it's true. We can do a fusion dance. So what you're most well known for is hacking into the no-fly list.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that? How we go about doing that? Let's make a tutorial. Let's wiki how.
Okay, I already did a tutorial on that on my blog on maia.crimew.gay, and you can read it there. It's 3 simple steps. The first step is you need to be bored because you don't do anything all day because you're an anarchist who just doesn't do anything. Yeah,
or leftcom. We don't do anything either.
You don't do anything either. I just didn't want to speak for you, but like
no, but I mean, all I do is like record audiobooks and write an article about the effects of simultaneous wage increases within a given sector. Which who the fuck gives a shit, dude?
Yeah, I mean, at least I write articles about things people care about.
Yeah, because like your articles are readable.
Yeah,
like, you don't need a fucking PhD in like economics, but like esoteric bullshit.
Yeah,
to understand
a PhD in it is quite hard to get a PhD in economics without getting a PhD in becoming a capitalist. That's like the real skill that some commies have.
Don't
Some
worry,
of them
I'm
do.
pursuing
Some,
an economics
yeah.
degree. Don't worry. I'm gonna be the one good economics.
I mean, yeah. So unfortunately, some communists do get one-shotted by the economics degree, and suddenly they want to be big business owner.
Okay, how are we gonna produce glasses under anarchism? Shoot.
This is always such a question, and I think it's a question that's difficult to answer because it like depends. I'm not gonna give the stupid shit. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I'm media training you right now. Here's how you answer. Pol Pot had the right idea. That's all you need.
That is not what I'm gonna say.
That's
no.
What you're gonna
but
say.
no, I am not gonna say.
Pol Pot wasn't a narco-Maoist.
I'm not gonna give the bullshit idea of someone's just gonna feel like making glasses, because that's not even how anarchist organizing in the now works. I don't know, that's just such an online 16-year-old anarchist response, because like even now, like you still can organize things, and you can still organize things into like shit that needs to get done, and like it's I don't know. I don't have a specific answer. I'm not a theorist. I'm someone who does more praxis than theory, and that's like what I do. Like,
did you ever consider that, as Mussolini said, theory without praxis is mere intellectual play, but praxis without theory is blind?
No, I do have some theory. It's just that I have a theoretical framework I work off of, but I'm not the person who needs to be able to answer all the questions about what will happen then and then in the future. I think there's other thinkers for that. I know, but that's my genuine answer, because I do sometimes think about that I don't know. I don't have the answers to all the questions, and I think too many people pretend they do, like in the left in general, not just anarchists.
Totally.
People will try to answer every question. I sometimes fall into that too, because it just seems like too often it seems like if you don't have an answer to every question, you're losing, and I think that's stupid, especially because no one has all the answers. And I think
it's really, like, on a serious note, I think like that shit's really lame. Expecting like any sort of public figure that believes in something to be a complete expert in every facet of that's just not how it works. Like, I'm just a comedian, and like I read, I write a bit, I know what I know, but goddamn are motherfuckers expecting me to have, read every single thing in every single niche Italian journal. It's like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, like I read and I write, and I mostly read things related to the work I do, because like I don't know, I do like theory, and I would love to read more theory, but a lot of it is just like, this is not related to what I am doing right now, and there's other people I can talk to who have read this and who can give me the gist of it, and we can exchange this. And I think it's like, that's like sort of the thing is like that too many people forget that not everyone needs to have read every piece of theory. It's that we can talk to each other, and I think that's a core part of any leftist ideology, is that we have this sort of community. And that's what I mean when I like talk about community building and stuff. It's this thing that too often now imparts, thanks to like society being so individualist in general, and also the internet. Too often we think we need to know everything by ourselves when we can know things together. And I think that's true for both like more authoritarian communists and like anarchists. And I am using the word authoritarian here, but like, you know what I mean.
Well, no, it's a correct. I don't mind it. I'm not. Dude, I don't know what it is with like Stalinists in particular, where they're so defensive about like the term Stalinism or authoritarian. It's also fucking weird.
They're so weird about
I know
it.
What you mean. Anarchism is also authoritarian depending on your definition. We know what you mean. Whatever.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, yes.
It's like any well-read anarchist will admit that is the other fucking thing.
It's like yes, it's like the answer to most of those questions. Like I don't know. It sort of depends, I guess. But like, I just love how whenever, as a very online anarchist, you do some anarchism online, a very online Stalinist will come and quote that one really bad letter / essay Stalin wrote that's basically just killing anarchists is our number one priority, actually.
What other types of writing from Stalin? Have you read Stalin?
I mean, I have little interest in reading Stalin, but yeah.
As someone who is... No, like,
I mean, like, other than to contextualize, like, that's why I've read a bit of him, like, but not a lot. But yeah,
I read a lot of theory from any sort of political tradition. I have to say, Stalin is far and away the second worst writer.
He's really bad. Yeah, like that's what always.
Third, Evola's up there. Evola's up there, but he's like really funny. He's like a Nick Lenz type guy, where it's like it's dog shit, but it's hilarious.
I don't know. It's just I always find it funny when that essay is like quoted at me as like some sort of phone. Like, what do you mean?
That's the other thing.
What do you mean? You're a Stalinist on Tumblr. What are you doing?
Why do you think that you're going to convince any anarchist?
Yes, this is not how the debate works.
That would be like me, like going up to a council communist and being like, Lenin said he disagreed. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I mean, then the other type is obviously always the people who just say read on authority and then leave it at that, and it's like, okay, that's first of all, that's a very bad essay. Essay. That's a very bad letter, and also second of all, what do you mean? No, there's so many critiques of it to this day, and I don't.
I think it's better if you're going. Okay, little chuddies out there, if you want to critique anarchism, don't do it with authority, do it with socialism, utopia, and scientific, if you're going to cite Engels at least.
Yes.
But these people don't read, is the thing. Like, anyone that's read would know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like that's the main argument against on authority is that anyone who has actually read anything would know that on authority, even within
it's
like
flawed.
A communist canon, is flawed. It doesn't even. Yeah.
It's a lot like principles of communism, which I get it if you're starting out, but it's quite a childish thing to cite. And the other thing is like read critiques of these works from anarchists and then formulate responses to those critiques.
Yeah, it's just you need, if you want to convince someone that your ideology is better than theirs, you gotta learn about their ideology and not just from people who agree with you, because this is not how that works.
Or just become dumber, like me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't engage. Whatever.
Yeah, like
who gives a fuck?
It literally, my main point though is that in the current moment, it literally doesn't fucking matter.
Whatever. Yeah, like I don't know. I think that it's I don't know. I think that it's better to talk about the ideas rather than just like be on the attack.
And there's always something to be learned from each other, anyways, in that regard. In my opinion.
Yeah. Like I think I don't know. I've benefited from reading Goldman. Obviously, Stirner's really influential. Marx, etc. But like, I don't know. People are dumb.
Yeah.
Well, I think, except for me, I'm a fucking genius.
Yeah, no, I'm the one smart person who gets everything right. Everything I've ever said is correct.
No, except here's the thing.
And if someone tells me. And if someone tells me no, they're a figment of my imagination and made up by my OCD. Actually, I'm always correct.
You're stealing my bit. It's over.
I think this is a bit that like every leftist who does online media stuff and who does online talking has to do. It's just important.
What was I gonna say? Okay. How you go about? Let's say there's a video essayist who I fucking hate. How do I go about taking this guy down?
Like in which way do you mean taking him down?
Just anyway. How do I hack into his fucking brain and make him shit himself in public?
Good luck. I mean, unfortunately, I think for getting video essayists to stop, we still have yet to develop better technology than bullying.
You just get them to kill themselves.
I mean that always works if you get
It's
enough
social. It's
people.
called social hacking.
Yeah.
I'm a social hacker. I led a harassment campaign to get a video essayist to commit suicide.
Yeah, put it on your CV. It shows that you have leadership experience.
Yeah, I have a resume. I led a lynch mob.
Awful jokes. Awful jokes.
No, incredible jokes, beautiful jokes, wonderful jokes. They're all staying in. Can you tell the people where to find you?
I can be found on Twitter on @awawa who am I, because Twitter keeps banning me because they hate comedy. Right, I do actually need to quickly tell the story of how my 120,000 follower account got banned, because I don't think you even know this one.
Oh yeah,
And
sure.
it's really funny. So I tweeted every trans person should get to kill 5 people every month without getting in trouble, right?
I agree.
It blew up because I was a big account and I got a lot of attention at the time. So some channels got mad at me and were like, "Whoa, look, they're exactly what." All exactly so violent. Nothing really big happened. A week later, a trans person showed up at school. They remember my tweet. Suddenly, Czech Posibiak, like big pundit, I probably mispronounced his name, but I don't really care, quote tweets me, blaming me for a school thing. And I get mass reported by every single Republican. And because they somehow genuinely think that I caused the school thing.
I feel like you just gotta hold the L on that one. That's just unfortunate circumstances.
It's to me, it's just very funny. There's like so much of this just happened in this order that
it's
like
an unfortunate sequence of events.
Yeah, and it's also like a tweet I shouldn't have made, but it was very clearly me making fun of how right wingers like treat us and stuff, and how transphobes treat us. I mean, the funniest thing was also me making that joke, and everyone in the replies telling me they're gonna kill, and it's like, wow, so you are so not doing the same thing I'm doing, but for real. Anyways, that was kind of funny. Anyways, that's why my username now is @awawa who am I. You can also find my website on maia.crimew, that's crimew.gay. There's other links there at the bottom. And you can give me money to buy that Hackers LP at ko-fi.com/nyancrimew. That's nyancrimew, nyan with a Y, because it's silly and Japanese. That sounded bad, but yeah.
You program. You are a programmer. Wow. Yeah. It was lovely having you.
Yeah,
Thanks
it was
for
fun to
coming
be
on.
here.
Thanks for shooting the shit with me. And yeah, thanks for coming on this journey with me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And see you again on Twitter. We're gonna disagree so much.
I don't think we've ever gotten into.
Well, I don't think we've ever genuinely gotten into an argument.
I'm not really that argumentative with my mutuals.
Me neither. Usually, I can't get if someone says some like really stupid shit. But that's when it's like actively harmful stuff, and I have yet to see you say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a very docile creature. Mostly. But
yeah. Anyways.
Thanks for listening. Peace out.
Peace.